Him sleeping with another woman has nothing to do with the fact that he gets out of bed every morning, goes to work, goes through large amounts of stress just to take care of you and that family that he loves. He loves you with all of his fucking heart. He just wants some pussy. And if you want to be a really good wife and secure in yourself, then help him out.
She doesn't understand that you may want to have sex with someone else and it has nothing to do with being in love. Part of the reason why is because your free testosterone may be 900 and hers is 40. Right. You're 17 times more testosterone than she does. I try to explain to my female friends, I'm like, you don't understand what it's, imagine the horniest you've ever been in your life, multiply it by 17, and now be 6'2" and weigh 235 pounds. Yep. And then have an 18 to 80 blind, crippling, crazy, what do you say, 80 or 280?
80 or 280.
80 or 280. Like you don't understand what it's like.
They don't want to hear it.
Yes.
But it's true.
It is true.
It's absolutely true. I actually put hungry and horny in the same category. Like when I'm talking to a woman, I'm like, listen, to a man, hungry or horny. And let me just put it to you like this. You, sweetheart, you're filet mignon. But as a man, if I've eaten filet mignon for 5 straight days, you'd be shocked at how easily I'll go down the scale and eat a corn dog. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
And
this is so true.
It's
Again,
so true.
Dr. Buss came on my podcast talking about like when men want short-term dating strategies.
You'd be shocked.
We call it beer goggles, right?
Yeah.
He actually has a term for the study that he did. He's like, yes, what happens is he calls it the closing time effect.
Yes.
It's like as you get closer to closing time, the standards like drop to embarrassing levels, right?
Yeah.
It's really funny when he talks about that. Going back to what you said, also, they survey men who cheat and men who don't cheat. They survey women who cheat and women who don't cheat in a marriage. Men who cheat and men who don't cheat, they report the same satisfaction in the marriage. When women cheat, 80% of the time they reported lower satisfaction in the marriage.
And that's coming from her lack of respect for the man.
Yes. When men cheat, it is not to end the relationship. When
Zero.
women cheat, it is to end the relationship.
It's the monkey branch to the next man.
Correct. Which is why when I heard, this is a very controversial statement, but from an evolutionary standpoint, it does make sense, which was Andrew talking about when women cheat, it is a bigger deal than when men cheat.
Right.
Specifically for that reason. When women cheat, it is to end the relationship. When men cheat, it's like look, it's hard for women to understand. I can love my wife and kids and have sex with someone else, and it doesn't mean anything about my wife. It seems selfish, but it is unequivocally true, and I can show limitless examples for the last 2,000 years of this actually being the case. And so, like what you said before, I thought it was interesting when Andrew brought that up. I was like, well, it is a bigger deal when women cheat because of that reason.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. And women don't believe it because they don't feel that way.
Yes.
Weak ass men don't want women to know it because in a lot of ways that's their mating strategy. What they do, what a weak man does is he gives up sexual exclusivity for the woman. Whereas guys that are at a certain level do not have to do it, especially if they have the backbone and the balls to tell the truth.
The truth.
So there's nothing more than he wants or the church guy wants than for the woman to actually in her heart believe that I love the other woman because then I'm a bad man. Yeah. Now I'm a risk and she's not going to stay. So I think it's actually in a lot of ways the reason there's so many males out there, especially like with these dating channels or they're out, they're trying to give this persona that men that sleep with other women are bad men. Those men are using that very thing as a strategy to get those women to come over to their side. I don't buy that shit at all. If you lined up every man in the world and you put them in a closed room and you came in there with a button, a red button, and you said, look, if you hit this button, you can sleep with as many women as you want, but you can go home, hold your wife, be a wonderful father, be loving, be a provider, be a protector with absolute love, and nobody's going to have a problem with it. Every man in the world would look left, look right, wait, make sure nobody's looking, and hit that
with his elbow.
Bam, just off the top rope, bro. And anybody that says otherwise is full of
It's so crazy when I say this to some females and they think I'm lying. I'm like, no, bro, my favorite is this, bro. No, he would never cheat. And no, he doesn't have an Instagram because he's too busy with his job. Honey, he doesn't have an Instagram. Here, focus, zoom in here. Honey, he doesn't have an Instagram because he doesn't want you to know about his family. He doesn't want you to know about his kids. He doesn't want you to know that he's cheating on you. That's why he actually doesn't have an Instagram. I know it's hard. Some of you legitimately believe this nonsense. It's true. It's just so crazy to me whenever I see that. But no, you're exactly right. It's not about right or wrong. It's like just tell the truth. Yeah. And you said something else. You said the courage and the bravery to tell the truth. Not the courage or the bravery to sleep with other women. Right. You said the courage and the bravery to tell the truth. And that is the case. And it would be great, for women, the same thing, the courage and the bravery to tell the truth. Whenever I have women come to me or dudes come to me and they're like, I think my girl's cheating. I was like, she might not be cheating, but I bet you she's not interested in you anymore.
Right.
I bet you've done something to make where you've taken advantage of the situation, or you've neglected her, or you've gotten to a situation where you're not validating her anymore. I bet you that's what's happening. She might be cheating on you. When women are like, I think my boyfriend's cheating on you, you're like, yeah, that's what's happening. That is absolutely what's happening.
Exactly. And you know what? I went on a podcast, Pearly Things, and I talked to a girl. There's a girl that she's like, I feel like it, and then she kind of admitted to it a few times. I'm like, why don't you just have the conversation with him? Because just like you just sent that message to the girl that is looking for his Instagram, I would go as far to say to the woman that's married, he absolutely loves you.
Yes.
Him sleeping with another woman has nothing to do with the fact that he gets out of bed every morning, goes to work, fights dragons, and goes through large amounts of stress just to take care of you and that family that he loves. He loves you with all of his heart. He just wants some pussy. And if you want to be a really good wife and secure in yourself, then help him out, because he ain't leaving you.
Yeah.
In fact, I think that if that was more prevalent, if women could get that message, I think it would keep more marriages together. Because what I think happens is a man, he gets married, he trades off sexual exclusivity for that marriage, and then he starts to die inside, because men invent, build, and maintain this entire world in that driving factor of women. And so what happens is he gets married, he gives up sexual exclusivity, and then he kind of dies inside because he can't go out and hunt anymore, and he's just got to come to the same place, and it gets boring and all these other things. There's no adventure, there's no life to it. And so at the end of the day, no matter how hard he works, it's the same result. He can't have any of those things that he used to when he was in college, or in the Air Force, or playing football, or whatever. The things that were exciting, that really drove him to do better. And then what happens? He starts to get fat because there's no reason. He starts to get lazy. He starts coming home and he popping a beer open. And the next thing you know, she's tired of him, and then she cheats. So to me, I think honesty is the only way. Like, hey, listen, this is how it's going to be. Boom, hold it with conviction. And just like any other time that you have to hold frame with your woman, you have to hold it with conviction. You don't have to be a dickhead. You can just say it respectfully, but directly. And more than likely, she's going to come around. Even if she leaves for a week, she's coming back. If she really loves you, she'll come back.
I'm almost 45 years old. You know, I spent 7 years in the military. I'm like reliving my 30s now, because I was an officer in the military for so long. I was so used to being in like situations where we might die, that when I started dating women after I got out of the military, it was like, I'm going to tell you exactly what's going to happen. Here's what's going to happen. I am not interested in right now in being in a traditional monogamous relationship. We could spend all this time together. I want to go to the movies with you. I want all those other things. I'm just not going to be in a traditional relationship. And if you want to do that, that's fine. And I always expect them to leave. And what happens, Justin? What happens when you tell them the truth?
Bro, for me, one of two things happen. Either they leave and come back in a week, or they just flat out stay.
Yes.
And I'll tell you why, because they know deep down that every man is lying to them, particularly the men that says, oh, I'm going to be monogamous. I mean, every woman knows that any man, if he could at his disposal do that, he would absolutely do it. Women need to really understand there's absolutely a huge difference between me being in love with you and sleeping with a woman.
Yes.
I could sleep with 30 women and wouldn't want to hold any of them, take them on vacation, like find out what their dreams were and be a part of making those dreams come true, or creating a better life for that individual. Women, I think, associate sex more with love, as they have to.
Of course, for
biologically,
evolutionary reasons, exactly.
But am I a bad man because I'm telling you the truth and I'm just actually capable? Just like that fighting thing. Am I a bad man because I don't choose to use violence, but I'm very, very capable? Or when it comes up and I have to use it, am I wrong for using it? I think that women really, really appreciate somebody that doesn't blow smoke up their ass. And so when you're that guy that has done everything right, and you can look her dead in the eye because you're not scared of her. I'll tell you a story. I had a girl that I was very, very close to, and I've seen her for a long time. She told me that she had left her fiance because he had cheated on her. And I said, no, you didn't. And she got really, really angry. We got quiet. About a week later, she calls me. We're about to go on a date. And when she finally got there, actually, she called me on the way, and she said, look, what you said last week really, really, really upset me.
Yeah.
But you are right. I left him because he was too much of a coward to tell me the truth.
Right.
And I had lost respect for him in that way at that point. And respect equals love with women, with everybody, with men. If you respect another man, you're much easier able to love him, you know, or at least have admiration for him in that way. So if a woman can't respect you because you're so scared of her that you're going to lie about sleeping with other women, then of course she's not going to respect you. How can she love you?
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is to do it up front too. Like, and it's really hard for a guy who doesn't believe that he has a lot of status to do that. But for me, it's just so much easier if you do it up front, because it's almost like I have guys ask me all the time because I had Coffee and Cleavage came on here. There's two playmates, and they interviewed me, and they asked me about threesomes, and I was like, well, this is something you need to determine very early on in the relationship. I really don't like to bring this up later, very early on. Are you comfortable with this? It's one of these deals where it's like, because you weren't comfortable, because you didn't do it in the beginning, you think you're going to talk her into it later. I think it's a bad idea. Just be upfront with it, right? You've ever seen a military recruiter who might lie to you, or a college football recruiter who comes in and guarantees you that you're going to start. You know what I'm saying?
At your position.
Hey, shout out to Arch Manning at UT Austin. Like, he guarantees you that you're going to start at your position, and then you come to find out later, oh, maybe I've been lied to. It's better, I think, just to take the loss and tell the truth up front. Just statements. I've heard you make these statements before. Number one, she doesn't want you to cheat, but if you act like you could never cheat, like you are too fat or too lazy to even have the ability to, I think you're in trouble.
And you're also not a good man just because you're not capable of violence. Just because you're not capable doesn't make you a good man. And in regards to cheating, it's actually the same thing. Just because you can't cheat doesn't make you loyal.
Right.
So let's cut the fucking bullshit.
There's a bunch of women out there who legitimately think their man is loyal. No, their man lives in Des Moines and has no options.
Right.
That's essentially what's happening. Put your man on Charing Cross next to the Playboy Mansion, and then let's see how loyal he is.
There's all these guys out there that'll run around acting like they're super loyal. They'll play, oh, I'm a man of God, especially in the South.
Man.
Bruh, Jesus' game is real. Jesus' game is
I
real.
did not think we'd go to this place, but yes, you are correct. I have absolutely seen this where a guy is like, I am a good man, worthy of a good woman. And the difference is I'm telling the truth and he's lying.
Like through his fucking teeth, G. Through his fucking teeth.
So it's like this, 10% of men get 60% of the right swipes on Tinder, and 43% of women get 60% of the right swipes on Tinder. And there's two philosophies here. One philosophy is fuck the society and fuck those men and fuck the women for choosing those men. Let's join an incel group. That's what incel's for. Go join that. That's what they're for. And then the second one is let's become part of that 10%. And that's what I believe. And it's hard because not everybody can join us. They can't, right? You talk about having individual problems. And so that part makes it very difficult.